All right, let's just jump right in. Artificial intelligence, it's not some sci-fi movie concept anymore, right? It's here, it's in our schools, and honestly, it is completely flipping the script on education for students, for teachers, for everyone. So today, we're going to unpack its huge and yet very complicated impact on the classroom.
So let me ask you something, and you gotta be honest. Have you ever used AI for an assignment? To help write an essay, translate a quick sentence, or just get you unstuck on a math problem? Well, if you have, you are definitely not alone. In fact, you're part of this massive global shift that's happening, frankly, faster than any of us can really keep up with.
And just look at this number. This really shows you the scale we're talking about. A huge study in 2024 found that 94.7%, that's pretty much everyone, of middle and high school students in Seoul had used generative AI. Tools that can spit out brand new text or images from just a simple prompt. So yeah, this isn't some niche tool for a few techie kids anymore. This is just the new normal.
Which brings us to our first big idea here. AI isn't something that's coming to education. It has already, very quietly, become a constant companion in classrooms all over the world. It's the present, and it's changing how we all learn and teach right now.
And it's not just the students, not by a long shot. Get this. Globally, a staggering 86% of educational organizations were using AI just last school year. But what's really wild is that this rate is higher than in any other industry. You'd think it would be tech or finance, right? Nope. Education is actually on the front lines of the AI revolution. But that super fast adoption has created a really serious paradox.
So on the one hand, the promise is absolutely incredible, right? A personalized tutor for every single student, ready to go 24/7. But the reality on the ground? Well, it's been messy. We're seeing technical glitches, we're seeing bigger workloads for teachers, and in some pretty major cases, we're seeing these big AI programs get rolled back. So what gives? Why is there such a huge disconnect?
Well, let's look at a real-world example. South Korea went all in. We're talking an $850 million program for AI-powered digital textbooks. The vision was these amazing futuristic classrooms, but the rollout was a mess. It was full of technical bugs and just plain wrong information. And look at this, adoption rates absolutely cratered, falling by half in just one semester. The whole thing was eventually downgraded. It's a huge cautionary tale about that gap between the hype and the reality.
And that gets us to the absolute heart of the issue. This isn't just about bad tech. It's about something deeper. It's about what happens to the whole process of learning when a machine can give you a perfect-sounding answer in 2 seconds. And this goes way, way beyond just cheating.
And the teachers, they see this every day. Just look at these numbers from that same Seoul study. Over 93% are worried about students becoming over-dependent on AI. But notice what's right behind it, practically tied, loss of critical thinking. So the main takeaway here is their biggest fear isn't just kids copying and pasting, it's that they'll stop learning how to think for themselves.
Okay, now here's the part that's actually kind of scary. While basically every student is using these tools, less than half of the teachers have actually been able to teach them how to use AI the right way. That is a massive and I think dangerous gap. We've got students navigating this incredibly powerful new world all by themselves with no guide.
And this creates 3 big hidden costs. First, thinking skills get weaker because students just aren't practicing the hard, messy work of struggling with a problem. Second, you get this learning divide that starts to grow between the kids who use AI as a thinking partner and those who just use it as a shortcut. And third, and this one is really surprising, human connections can start to fray. Students actually report feeling less connected to their teachers.
This quote from a student, wow, it just says everything, doesn't it? The AI spits out a perfect result, but the actual understanding, the learning, it's just not there. The whole process has been short-circuited. It's the difference between truly knowing something and just knowing how to get the answer. And that distinction is everything.
So what do we do about all this? Banning AI is pretty much impossible, and it's probably a bad idea anyway. The real goal here is to shift how we think about it, to move AI from being a shortcut machine to being a real partner in learning. So let's take a look at what that actually means.
Here's a pretty clear 3-step framework that can help get us there. It all starts with teaching something called AI literacy. Then it moves on to requiring what we can call proof of thinking. And finally, it's about learning the big lesson of how to roll out technology the right way.
So, what on earth is AI literacy? Well, simply put, it's the skill of using these tools wisely. It's knowing that AI can be wrong. It's knowing that it can have biases baked into it. And it's knowing that you always, always, always have to check the information it gives you. Honestly, this needs to become a new fundamental skill, just as important as reading or basic math.
Okay, next up is proof of thinking. Now, this is a really brilliant shift in how you design schoolwork. Instead of just asking for the final essay, a teacher can ask for the AI's first draft and the student's edits, along with a note explaining why they made those changes. You see, the focus shifts from the shiny final product to the student's messy, human thought process. It makes thinking visible again.
And that brings us right back to that huge $850 million experiment in Korea. A rushed, top-down rollout of new tech, it just rarely works. The key is to pilot these things on a small scale, to actually get feedback from the teachers in the classroom, and to only expand the things that are proven to actually help students learn.
So, as we start to pull this all together, it's pretty clear the challenge of AI in the classroom isn't really about the tech itself. It's much, much deeper than that. It forces all of us to ask a really philosophical question. What is education even for in the first place?
This quote right here, it just nails it. This is the goal. We have to build a partnership between humans and AI. The whole point isn't to use AI to skip the hard work of learning, but to use it as a tool that can push our own thinking to a whole new level.
And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. For pretty much all of human history, education has been about finding the right answers. But now, answers are cheap. They're instant. They're everywhere. So the most important question for all of us, for students, for teachers, for parents, is this. In a world full of easy answers, what is truly worth the effort of learning?